welcome to the Hooked on Needles podcast. My name is Maricela, or Mari if you prefer. This is episode 13, finally. I have been gone for quite a while. It was summer break, and we were gone for quite a while. We went up to Chicago, the Chicago area, visiting my husband who travels, so that was really nice. And then we came back and I thought about recording, but then the kids were still home and running around getting ready for their school, back to school stuff and everything. So it was just a lot. Like the week I got back, a lot happened. I was losing my mind. But everything turned out well. And then last week was a super exciting week. So I will talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, so welcome if you are a new viewer, and welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Thank you guys so much for spending a little bit of time with me. I really and greatly appreciate it. And let's get into some of the yarny stuff. Today is August 2nd, 2017. Just so you have a little bit of an idea of how long it's been. It's been quite a while. So, yes, I have a couple of finished objects to show you guys. I have other stuff that I also finished up that I'm not going to show you just because I've shown them before. I went ahead and made a couple more little cacti because I ran out. I finally gave away the chickens I made for my friend and her little cacti. And so I'm glad everybody has gotten their gifts. So now I can just do whatever. Okay, so let's get started. I will start off by showing you the boomerang, the Hufflepuffy boomerang that I made for my daughter. Here it is. And it's quite long. It's longer than my arms, but I'm a short person, therefore I don't have very long arm extension. Anyway, so I finally finished it off. I was binding off, and I can count maybe 5 or 6 stitches right at the end. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I ran out of yarn. That's all I had to do. This tiny, tiny little bit. That's all I had left. And I ran out of yarn. So, I don't have any black or yellow wool. So, I just kind of grabbed some of my loops and thread wool like in the black color and used that to finish binding off because I was unable to do so. And I used Bumblebee Acre Farms, Fiber Farms. I always get their name wrong. In the Helga Hufflepuff. It is a superwash, mill spun, hand dyed yarn. It doesn't say if it's blended or not, but it was 434 yards, and it is a good. I'm gonna try and. It's a good size little shawl thing. Do you have to get that part like down? There we go. So this is for daughter. She will be getting it for her birthday, which is next month in September. So that's good. I was so bummed out. I tried to cheat and I wove in the end where I started and tried to use the little bit of yarn that I had from there, and it completely fell apart. So then that's why I ended up using the loops and thread one. And I mean, it's like 6 stitches at most, if that I ended up using it on. So I think it'll be okay. I'll just, you know, have to kind of hide it or whatever. But anyways, so I really enjoyed working with this yarn. It was really nice, simple pattern. It was a boomerang shawl. I don't remember who the designer is, and I don't have any notes because I just kind of am opening my box and gonna show you guys what's in it. So this is done. So glad. It was nice to knit while we were on the way up to the Chicago area. So that was nice. And yeah, one down. And then I also finished up my fidget socks by Amy Stringer. They are lovely. I actually was wearing them last night and I went outside and I got some little basuritas, like little bits of, not trash. I don't know why we call it basuritas, because basura is trash, but we don't say, like, we don't really mean trash. We just mean like little bits of stuff, you know? It's just like grass particles or something. Anyways, these are the fidget socks. And I love them. They are lovely. They kept me warm while we were up in Chicago because I am always cold no matter what the weather is. And so it was hot up there at times, and so my kids and my husband were sweating bullets, and I was like, does it have to be so cold in here? So I was really glad that I finished them. I finished them probably like at the beginning of June. So that was nice. I was able to wear them when we were up there. They're holding up quite nice. I want to show you the heel, but it's, like I said, it's got basuritas around it. So excuse the little bits. And I did the fish lips kiss heel for this one. And I really enjoy the wear. It does, it's really nice if it's really, really snug and everything. So I really like them, but this part is good on my foot, but this part is a little loosey-goosey. And I was using my 2.75 Chagu 9-inch circulars. So because they were coming out loosey-goosey, I thought maybe I should go down. Oh, I do have 2 socks, just so you know. I'm not lying. So I thought I should go down a size because I know that I'm a loose knitter, but I may have gone too far. Because that brings me to my next finished object, which are just plain vanilla socks. And I did a 3x1 rib for the part of the leg and the rib, the bind off. But I want to show you this. Look, that's the sock. I made these too big, and I got me a set of 9-inch circulars in size 1 maybe. Oh, I don't even know. Give me a second. I have them here. Oh, size 0, which is 2 millimeters. Yeah, because since these came out loose, I was like, okay, maybe if I go down and keep the same stitch count, it'll be okay. But clearly it wasn't okay. Look at that. And for these, I actually tried a Fleegle Heel, which I have never done. You can see how it like separates there. Can you? And it was really easy to work, but I feel like because I had never done it before, you do need quite a bit of space before you start your heel. So usually, let me take this off. If this was my foot, I would knit to this part before I start the heel. Some people say to knit to this part, like where your leg comes down. Others are like, no, right where it begins. So I guess I go kind of like in the middle. And for the Fleegle, I feel like you have to start way down here, like way down here, because it does grow quite a bit with that heel. Like it gets longer. So I think that's why these came out super long. They don't fit me at all. I mean, they do fit me, but they're like super long. And I do like how snug they are. The heel feels really good. But I even marked right there, like that's where my toe ends right here, which is the same as the blocker. Look at that. So I was debating whether to just end up ripping back, or not ripping back, but picking up stitches and then making it a little bit shorter, and just doing that with the toes, which doesn't seem that hard. Could totally do it. Or maybe I'm just gonna give them to a guy in my life, because men tend to have longer feet. And I don't know any women that have long feet in my life. My sisters and I are pretty much the same size, so I don't think I could give them to any of them. So yeah, that kind of sucked, but I really did enjoy the Fleegle Heel, so that was good. And like I said, I just did a 3x1 rib, and then is it Jenny's Magic or Super Stretchy, whatever it's called, and I did do Judy's toes for Judy's Judy's Magic cast on for the toes, not Tooties. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm a little bummed, but at the same time I'm like, wow, whatever. And I do knit mine 2 at a time and using my 9-inch circulars. So yeah, so I got 2 pairs of socks done over the summer, and a shawl. And then I also finally found something that I wanted to knit with this yarn. I got this at Tuesday mornings quite a while ago, and it's all natural undyed wool. I don't think it's superwash. Nope, it's not. So yeah, the light color, the cream color, was just natural, and then the brownish color was a light brown, and they don't really have, I guess the color number for the light one is 40001. Sorry. And the light brown is 5088, I'm guessing. It doesn't really like make a clear, the labels don't clearly say what lot number or whatever they are. Anyways, I ended up making this cowl really long. Oh no, it's not a cowl, it's an infinity scarf. And it is called Autopilot. And it is by Dominique Tad, I believe. Like I said, I don't have any notes, so I will put the names down once I edit. But, yeah, so I ended up making this Autopilot, and I really like it. The only thing is, I can't follow directions for some reason. I always think I know better. Anyways, so I ended up casting on like an extra 20 stitches because I was thinking it was not going to be long enough, which I was wrong. It was long enough. So now it's like a bit too long, and this is 2 wraps, and then if I do 3 wraps, it's like crazy tight. So I guess it's good if I end up going up north again during the winter and I can totally be snug. Be like, yep, no one's breaking through this. Anyways, it was a super, super fast knit. Like, I'm not even kidding that it took me maybe like an entire day, I would say. Not even, like less than 24 hours it took me, because I cast on and I knit on that. I knit that night maybe for like 2 or 3 hours. I was watching a movie, and then the next day did the same thing and I was binding off. So maybe like a 9-hour knitting session, you could knock it out. Maybe less if you cast on the right amount of stitches. But I really, really liked this. I ended up seeing that she's got other patterns, which gave me, I think it's a fantastic idea. But this is called the Autopilot, and she has a pilot and a co-pilot pattern. So I think I'm going to end up making those patterns for my sisters, because I can definitely pilot and co-pilot the other ones, and I'm most definitely an autopilot. Like, I just cruise sometimes, you know, like, okay guys, what are we doing? Okay, you do that, I'm gonna go over here and just look busy. But that's not true. I do help out. But I am more like, I don't want to say easygoing, but I don't know. I feel like I try not to stress so much in my life, and my sisters sometimes can put quite a bit of stress in their life. So I don't know. Yeah, I think the names will definitely go with the sisters. My oldest sister will be getting the pilot. My middle sister will be getting the autopilot. I mean, co-pilot. I'm the autopilot. She's going to get the co-pilot because I feel like it just fits. It just fits correctly. And so that's what I'm hoping to make for them for Christmas. But yeah, so I totally recommend this pattern if you want something quick. If you want to knit up a gift, I think this would be awesome to make for someone. And I was so like happy to finally use this yarn because I was loving it and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And at first I was like, oh, I don't know if I like the mixture of it, but because the brown has little specks of white, I think it looks beautiful. So I don't know if I showed that well enough. And it's a very, like, it's not a hard pattern. I don't want to say it's simple because I don't want to take away from it, because it is really, really beautiful once you're done. So but it definitely, if you're a beginner and you want to give it a try, totally go for it. And even if you're not a beginner, just make one for someone you love. So I'm so happy. And I actually had a bit of the white left, the natural color. I don't know how many grams this is. I guess I could have checked. But it took the entire brown and most of the cream. So I really did enjoy it, though. It was super nice. I loved it. And then I also made just a super simple hat. And I have to say that when I was up there, this is how I was like snuggled up in the room, because like I said, it was really cold not where we were. It was just cold because they would, turn the AC down or up. I don't know. They make it cold in there. So I was like, with my socks, with my little infinity scarf and my hat. And this was me under blankets with a pillow over and my knitting. And that was me, because I was so cold. I was so cold, guys. Like, no kidding. Anyways, so, and this is just very simple. This is Vanna's choice. And I just did it because I wanted something to do. And actually, I think I was knitting on this and the, what's it called? Oh my gosh, this one. What is this one? The boomerang. On our way up, we did drive up there. So, yeah. Anyways. And then we ended up taking a little trip, to a place where my husband and daughter could fish. And there happened to be every episode I get yarn in my mouth. Anyways, we ended up going to a Tuesday morning, and I ended up getting this yarn. Oh, it's backwards, sorry. And it is a superwash wool, 75 and 25 polyamide, I don't know how you say that, but it is a whopping 300 grams, 1,149 yards. That's a lot. And it's this one. Oh, this is my son's hat. I was gonna put it on, but it's my son's hat. So I made a hat for him, which is kind of weird, because this looks like a hat, and then it's like, oh, you decided to put another hat on top. Anyway, so I made a hat for him. I made a hat for myself, which they look almost the same. Mine's a little bit bigger. And then I had this whole bunch left. So I will show you guys what I'm doing with the leftover. But yeah, and I mean, it's nice and cozy and everything. So that's good. And then, last but not least, is this gorgeous thing. I'm gonna wear it because it's gorgeous. Look at that beautifulness. Okay, so because of this hat, we will transition into a couple of acquisitions, because I got this book from Amazon, and it is the one on the cover. And sadly, I had to do it twice, basically. I made this hat in a green color, which is this one, that I had also purchased at, what's it called? Tuesday mornings. but I did not have enough yarn. So we ended up going back to the Tuesday mornings because my husband and my daughter really enjoyed fishing, so we would just go fishing. Anyways, and so I ended up getting the Fibra Natura Lima, and I used the blue color. It's blue, but it's more like a bluish green, and it's really pretty. I really liked it. It's 100% superwash. There are 100 grams and 284 yards, or 260 meters, and it's a medium 4. And I got 2 of those actually. My husband chose the colors, so I'm going to be making a hat with this one. Don't know what hat, but I will be going back to this book. And yeah, the first one that I made in green was really, because, you know, I was getting the hang of the pattern or whatever, I was like, but this one just flew off my needles, like, yeah, I think I was done in like 2 days as well, just because I wasn't knitting on it constantly or whatever. Otherwise I probably would have finished it in a couple of hours. But it was really nice, and I really do recommend this book. It's got all these beautiful patterns, which actually I have another book with that pattern in there, but this one's really pretty. And so I am thinking that I will be making maybe another 3 or 4 hats out of this. Just because they're really pretty. And so, yeah. But this was on in my wish list on Amazon. And while we were out there, husband was like, well, go ahead and get something if you want. And so since I ordered the smaller size needles, I was like, well, I guess I might as well. So I got this one. And then when we went to Tuesday mornings, there happened to be a bookstore nearby. So I got this book. And I have to confess, I don't know if I will ever have the courage to knit anything from here, because it's so much beautiful color work. But it totally got my attention, and it's so beautiful. There are a couple, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't know if I will ever do that. I mean, honestly. But when I was going through it, my son saw, where is it? He saw a pattern for a hat that he really liked. And so that was like the main reason why I got it, was because he was like, Mom, will you make me this hat? There it is. So of course I said, yeah, I could totally make you that hat. Don't know if that's really going to happen, but it's on the, we'll see. We'll see if that happens. So those were 2 of my acquisitions. And then I told you guys I got this, and I had originally bought these 2, which are also Fibra Natura in the light green and terracotta colors. They're really pretty. They are 100% super wash, extra fine merino. And there's only 110 yards or 100 meters in each one. So definitely not enough to make a hat unless you're making a baby hat. So maybe I will make a baby hat. But we will see. I don't know. And then that was some of the acquisitions. So I will not talk about those anymore. I will move on to, I guess we could do acquisitions, all of my acquisitions now. And then hopefully I'll remember to get to works in progress. Okay, so then what had happened was Codi from the CodiKnits podcast was doing a D-stash on Instagram, and husband and I were sitting next to each other, and I was just kind of scrolling through Instagram or whatever, and I clicked on it, and then he's like, oh, what's that? Because he just saw like all the yarns, and I was like, oh, this guy is doing a D-stash, and he's like, oh, well, what's that? And I was like, oh, well, he's just, you know, trying to get rid of some of his he's trying to get rid of some of his yarns, and so he is putting them up for sale or whatever. And I was like, so I was just looking, and he's like, ooh, that's nice. I was like, yeah, it is. And so, you know, then he's like, let me see. So he was looking through the pictures, and he's like, oh, these are nice, and these are nice. And I was like, yeah, they are. And so he's like, well, see how much they are. So, of course, I asked, because, you know, I'm a good wife that listens to her husband. So, of course, I asked. And, anyways, he told me the prices or whatever. And, I told husband, and I was like, well, this is this and whatever. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, that's good. And he's like, well, do you want them? And I was like, I mean, if it's okay, I wouldn't mind, but, you know, I don't have to have them. And he's like, well, go ahead, get some. And I was like, okay. And then he's like, I like these and these. And I was like, awesome. So I was like, well, I'll go ahead and get what you chose. So this is what he chose. The 3 Irish Girls. Look at those colors. They're so beautiful. He chose, like, seriously, guys, he chose my yarns for me. It is an 80-20 merino nylon blend in the colorway. I can't read their handwriting. It's either Zanzibar or Zanzibar. I don't know. But I have never used this, knit this, or anything. But these colors are seriously, like, I can't even, guys. I can't even. It is so beautiful. Don't know what this is going to be, but it will be something that I can wear because it's so beautiful. Okay, so that was the first thing. I only got 2 things, though. And then he chose these, which I think is amazing. This is, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Araucania yarns. Puelo. It's fine, pure alpaca, hand-painted in Peru. But he was doing 2 skeins of this, so I went ahead and did it. And anyway, so look at those beautiful colors. They are so beautiful, like, oh. And I really like alpaca. I think I have yet to knit with alpaca. I just really like it. Like, oh. So I am one happy girl with these. And I actually got to meet Codi. That's what I was saying last week was such an exciting thing. So I got to meet Codi. We met up so that I could get the yarn. And then so when we met up, he actually gave me a little bit of extras. He gave me some carrot cakes, which I was so, like, I don't think my excitement always comes off the way I want it to. Like, I'm like, oh, thank you, but I'm more excited than just like, oh, thanks. Like, I don't know. I think I get, or like, I'm trying not to be like fangirly. So I'm like, yeah, I'll play it cool, whatever. So I don't know. I really appreciate that he got me these. And I was so glad about getting this one because I already had one in that color. And we were talking about how you kind of need two to make anything really worth making, because unless you're gonna do maybe a holy type of thing where you're doing yarn overs, or if you crochet you're doing chains in between, you do need two skeins. And so I had bought this one a while ago and I was hoping to make something for my son, but then I was like, ooh, I don't know if that's gonna be enough yarn, so I never did anything with it. And when I went back to the store, I couldn't find this color anymore. So, Codi, thanks. Now look, they're siblings. So anyways, I was really glad that he gave these to me, these little extras. And they are beautiful. So I will find something to do with them. So thank you. But I was so psyched. I got to meet Codi, you guys. He is such a sweetheart. Like, oh, I don't even know. Last week I was feeling just crazy, lucky, and blessed, and just like on cloud nine type thing. And yeah, so I got to meet Codi. We were talking for quite a while. I'm sorry, Codi. I totally was talking your ear off. And that apology also goes to Mr. John-Fidel from the Boys Don't Knit podcast, because him and I did an exchange where I felt so horrible. I was making him a couple of little amigurumi things, and I sent them over his way. But when it comes to amigurumis, I usually like to go with the economical stuff. And so I was feeling so bad because he made me a bag. And I don't know, I felt like my contribution to the swap was not in the same range. Because I got this beautiful bag, you guys, and I love it. Like, you have no idea how much I love it. So it's like calaverita stuff, right? Skull stuff. And it kind of reminds me of loteria, which is like a Mexican bingo, or yeah, I don't know if South America also plays loteria, but we definitely play it in Mexico. And so it's like the cards in the loteria game. And the first thing that my daughter pointed out was the panadero, which is the baker. And that is because my grandfather was a baker. And my grandmother she was one of those women that would have these huge baskets of bread on her head, and she would just walk down the street and sell it. And to her dying day, that is what she did. She would still go, and even though there was shops, they had a shop, and she was like, no, I'm still gonna go and sell in my basket. So she would still go and sell her bread. And so my grandfather passed away quite a long time ago. I was quite young when he passed away, but luckily he taught my uncle took over, and then now his son is the baker, and their bread is delicious. Like, I know people do non-carb diets. I can't do that because I grew up around bread. Like, bread, if you're not in my life, it's just so sad. So, anyways, like I said, I know that he didn't know anything about it or anything like that, but I feel like it couldn't be more perfect. He said in his little note that it was, he's like, there's a couple imperfections, whatever, and I am no professional, so to me, it looks wonderful. It's this beautiful yellow inside, and he did put a zipper on there. And I really like this, I don't know what it is, like, for the handles that he uses, kind of like ropey, but not. Anyways, I love it. And so I have been carrying it everywhere. And then when I went to meet Codi, because I got this on Monday last week, I met with Codi on Wednesday. And I was telling John, I was like, oh, I'm going to go and show it to Codi and, you know, be like, look, he made me a bag or whatever. So I get to see Codi, and then I completely forgot my knitting in the car, and then I just never went to get it. I was just sitting there chatting with him or whatever. So anyways, but John sent this to me, and it is beautiful, and I love it. And like I said, I felt like my stuff was not really worth it. So I don't know. I guess he was like, not at all. It's so beautiful, whatever. But then, not only did he send me a bag, he sent me this beautiful yarn. And he, in his note, he sent me a message on Instagram, and he was like, oh, in your last podcast, you mentioned something. I hope I can help you. And I did go back to that episode talking, like, I was trying to listen, like, what did I say? What was it? And I could not, like, think of what it was. So then he was like, you said, you know, that you weren't sure if you were ready to use actual nice yarn for socks. He's like, so I hope you do. And this is beautiful, you guys. Look at those colors. And he did send a mini for the toes, and it's more of a black. So I'm definitely going to do something. I don't know which pattern, but this is Blue Ridge Yarns. Both of them are. And it's Super Wash Merino Sock Yarn, 2-ply. And it is 300 yards. Yep. And it's only got a number. For the color, it's 036. So, but I was opening it and I was trying not to cry because, like I said, the week before was horrible. Like, all these things happened when we got back, and I was just so overwhelmed. I was like, ugh. And I was talking to John, and I was telling him, because we sent out our packages on Friday, and I knew I was going to send the package. I had his stuff ready, but I was like, I don't know. I felt like I needed to do more, just because, like I said, I felt like I was it was not being an equal trade type thing. And on Friday, when I got home after running around and everything, I was really like, oh, I really don't want to go to the post office right now. Like, it was just one of those days where you were just over the whole day, right? And I got home, and my daughter was like, well, if you don't want to go, it's okay. And then I was like, no, it's not okay, because we had already said this, and I have all his stuff. It's just my mindset that was not in the right place. So I was like, nope, I'll be right back. So I went to the post office. I packaged it up. And then I just felt better, because I was like, this is not just for me. Like, I was hoping that he was going to feel good, because we all like getting something in the mail. And so just, you know, that the fact that he was going to get something and maybe it would cheer him up. That's what I was thinking, and not really thinking of how cheered up I was going to get when I got his package, which, like, seriously, guys, I was I was bawling. And so thank you so much, John. We already, talked to each other and everything, but seriously, thank you so much. And I am so proud of you for your test scores. Good job. Anyways, yeah, so that was last week, and that's why it was so super exciting, because I got my package from John. I got to meet Codi, and it was just the best. Like, I was so happy and so just, I was feeling like, seriously guys, I was like on cloud nine, just feeling so grateful and happy. And then also I got to see my friends that I hadn't seen all summer. They came at different days, but it was just really nice. Like, I got to catch up with them, and the kids were playing and everything. The house, it's still a mess. They ended up making this big track or whatever with the Hot Wheels, and I just feel bad tearing it down because they take so long to make it, and make it big and make it this long and do this, and like, for me to say, okay, time to clean up, pick that up. So it's still there and everything, but just because it's nice, and I mean, we have the space, so why not? But yeah, so I was just like so happy last week, and then the kids started school this week, so now I am trying to not go so crazy, trying to clean up the house, trying to get everything sorted and all that stuff, because like I said, we got here and it was like, go back to school shopping and get all their stuff together and get rid of this stuff, and it was a lot. Let me take a little coffee break. Okay. So I am just totally in love with the stuff that I have gotten. And I did end up sending John and getting something for Codi as well. At my local yarn store. At my local yarn store. So while I was there, I went ahead and got some stuff. Just little stuff. I ended up getting some Cascade 220 for the sweater. My son went with me, and he actually chose the stuff that I got for them. Like, some of the stuff that I got them, he chose it because he was like, Mom, we need happy stuff, so let's go here. I was like, okay. So a lot of the colors are quite happy, as he says. But this is a like navy blue. It's color number 854. And so I will be making a sweater using these colors. But I'm thinking I may end up, because for some reason I was thinking, oh, my kid's going to be the same size. No, he grew over the summer. Oh, excuse me. He grew so much over the summer. He's so tall now. So now I'm like, now what do I do? Because I have three balls of these, which would have been fine last year when I wanted to make the sweater. But now I'm like, so I think I'm going to have to go get another one of these to make a sweater big enough. And so I'm thinking this for the sleeve, because originally I was thinking it was going to be this for the body, and then the sleeves and neck would be a contrasting color. But now I'm thinking I'm going to have to do the bottom band in this color, the sleeves, the neck, and possibly part of the top right here, just to have enough, because I really don't want to get another ball of these, and I just want to do what I can with what I have. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing, or I'm going to end up doing. So yeah, so this is my first time with some Cascade 220. So we will see how that goes. I am excited to work with it. And then, okay, so I have seen this dyer on Instagram, and like slobbering all over her pictures because they just look so good. So this is Yarn Habits. This is the color Taz. It's a 75 superwash merino, 25 nylon, sock weight, 400 meters, 100 grams. And I love it. She actually came to my local yarn store when I was out of town. I think we left, and she was in town maybe like a week or 2 weeks after we left, and she posted on Instagram, and I was like, I missed it. She did like a pop-up shop over here, and I was so bummed out when I realized that I had missed it or whatever. And so when I went to the store, went to the shop, I was like, oh, I know that you had Yarn Habits here over the summer. And she was like, yeah, she left us some goodies. This is actually our second shipment, which is awesome. That means she's doing well. So when I got there, I think they had just gotten it. And so I got to choose from this huge basket of all of her yarns and stuff. So this is the one I chose, and I love it, and it's so pretty. And so yeah, I am seriously like, look at all the goods, y'all. Oh, I'm so excited. So anyways, I'm so happy I'm finally doing the video, because that means I can finally like cast these on. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I will be doing something. So anyways, in case you didn't realize, this will be a long podcast because I have been gone forever and a day. Sorry, another coffee break. But yeah, so that happened. And so let's move on to works in progress. I started making the Echo Beach socks. I don't remember who the pattern is by. I will post it on here. And I have one done. And the reason why I cast these on was that Sharon from the SSK Yarners, it's Karen and Sharon right now who are hosting that podcast. But Sharon made some of these socks, and they just looked so beautiful. So I was like, I just have to. So here's one. And I realized I didn't even tell you guys about the yarn, did I? I was just like, look at my stuff. This, I don't even know if I have it actually. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I was editing the video and I realized that something happened and my audio was completely out of sync, and so I'm going to do this part again. So I was talking about the socks, the Echo socks, and this is the yarn that I used. Cervinia, and it is their Forever yarn. And I really, really enjoyed the way that the color change was happening. It's really, really nice. And as I was editing, I was knitting. So I'm actually almost done with this sock. With the other one, look, I already put I'm on the cuff now. So that happened while I was editing. Anyways, so I have to record this part all over again because there was no point in me trying to like record over what I was doing. So I'm just going to do the whole thing over. So I was in works in progress, which these are. They will definitely be done next time I see you guys. And I was saying that I totally recommend the pattern. It is quite a good pattern to memorize and everything, so that's good. And like I said, I really like the fit. I believe I said anyways. And then the other thing I am working on is I cast on for the Future Simple. It is by Shep. T-S-H-E-P. Shep. And you won't be able to see it correctly because my printer was running out of ink. But that is what I cast on for the Future Simple. And it is a shawl. Yeah. And I am using the, it's Rowan's Fine Art Premium Hand Painted Soft Yarn. And I had shown you guys this this yarn before. I used it when I was making the shawl for my son's teacher. So since I got 2 skeins of that, I went ahead and I am going to do this one. And I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to give it away for one of my friends, but we will see. And yeah, I just really enjoyed working with this yarn. I forgot to tell you guys, it does have a bit of mohair in it. It's 45% wool, 20% mohair, 25 polyamide, and 10% silk. So it is quite nice. When I made it for my son's teacher, I did like, I was thinking it might be a little bit itchy, but it wasn't. It was really nice. I did try it on, so it was really nice. So like I said, I haven't decided yet whether this will be going to someone or whether it will be for me. But that is something I'm working on. And then this one, I kind of am in a rut, I have to say. I bought this yarn, Lion Brand's Ice Cream Scoop, in the color Mint. And this, I bought it because a friend of ours is expecting a baby. Her baby shower is on August the 12th, which I hadn't realized that's only 10 days away. And this is all I have, is a corner to corner in that yarn. And I haven't really touched it, to be honest. Like I said, have been in a rut where I just haven't really been wanting to do much. I don't know why. I think I got really discouraged because I cast this on. It started off as like a star-shaped blanket, but then it was starting to look more like a rug, which I was not really liking. And then I did like a basic double crochet, and I was like, no, I don't like it. So then I was like, oh, maybe the half double, because that's my favorite. But no, I wasn't liking it. So then I was like, okay, I'll do corner to corner. And so that's what I've been doing now. And I just got stuck. I haven't really been wanting to grab it or anything, but I really got to buckle down and do it because it's 10 days away. So I got to get this done. So that's something that I am working on. And then I'm also working on this one, which is the Franco Scarf, I believe. It's by Stacey Perry from Very Pink Knits, and it's really pretty, although I did mess up. This blue should actually be this orange, and the orange should be the blue. But I messed up because I think I intentionally did it. You can see the chevron in there. So it's really pretty. Chevron, mesh, seed. But I think I also did it because I have quite a bit of this blue, but I don't have enough of the orange or the yellow. So I'm actually going to have to order some online because I got those colors when I was in California at Michael's. I'm using the Loops and Threads wool-like, and I have looked at all the Michaels that I have gone. Even in Chicago, I went to look, and they did not have the orange and yellow that I desperately want and need. So here in Georgia, they don't have them, the ones that I have gone to, and so I have to get those online. So I'm not sure when I'll be placing that order, but I mean, husband knows it's coming. He actually chose the colors, so I don't feel like I have to get to it real quick, which is good. So anyways, that one's also on the needles. And then the very last thing that I'm working on that has been on my needles the longest of all these things is the mesh tank that I have shown you guys that I will be making for my daughter, or I am making for my daughter. And this is where I took a huge, like, confidence plummeted, because I was making it, I was doing well, and then something happened. I don't know what happened, but something happened where, since it is lace, you do need to pay attention to what you're doing, right? So at one point, I did not pay attention to what I was doing, and I realized that I had like 3 or 4 rows that were just plain knit. It's lace. You don't have a plain knit section. Like, come on. And I was so discouraged by it, because up until this point, I have a lifeline there, but like all of this, I have had mistakes. I've had mistakes where I've been a couple of stitches off, like 3 or 4 at most. I always get yarn. Anyways, and so I was either like where I had more or less. So I was either, you know, knitting 2 together, or yarning over, or making 2 stitches in one, like knitting through the front and the back type thing, just so that I would keep the count, but it wasn't terribly noticeable, right? I was fine with that. I'm fine with that. But seeing that, and what really got me is that it was like this one tiny section where you could just see the straight up knitting. And I was like, what happened there? Why didn't I notice? Why didn't I catch it? I have to do 15 repeats. I was completely done with 13 of those. And so then I actually did end up ripping back to my 10th repeat. And at the 10th repeat, like, it was quite devastating going from 13 to 10, you know, because each repeat is 8 rows. That is quite a good amount of time that I had been spending on it. And I'm glad I caught it though before I finished, and my daughter was actually telling me, Mom, no worries, just go ahead and finish it. Nobody's gonna notice. But I didn't touch it for a couple weeks because I was, you know, like debating whether I was gonna continue or not. And then I realized that, yeah, maybe not everybody would notice, but I would know. And it was really, really bothering me. And so, like I said, I can let small things go. Whatever, doesn't matter. But this big thing, and even though it was like in a small section, it was just bugging me so bad. So I was like, no, we're doing this, and I am going to fix it. So I think having to rip back so much, it was basically like half a ball of yarn that I ended up having to rip back. it just really, I took a big hit with that, just in my confidence with my skills. And but whatever, I am over it. I just finished my 11th repeat, so I got 4 more to go, and then I can finally start the straps and stuff and get that done, because I do want to finish it before the summer's over. And yeah, and also I want to finish it because then I can get started on a sweater for my son, which I'm really excited about. And I'm sure I've used this. I've shown this before. And I don't know if I had told you guys, but even before this ripped back, I had ripped back the entire thing. I restarted it. I don't remember if I said that in the last episode, but I was really off. I think it was like the second or third repeat into it when I first started it, and it was just looking crazy for some reason, and I was like, no, I can't keep going like this. So I did end up ripping it completely off the first time and starting over, and then putting in my lifelines. I'm putting my lifelines in every 2 repeats. And so I was doing that, and that was working out fine. So I am actually glad that I did that, because then I was able to not have to rip all the way back. That would have been completely devastating. So if you're trying lace for the first time, totally do lifelines, because it will save you so much time, and it's just better if you do it. So yeah. And I should definitely have enough yarn. This is my 3rd ball, and I have 1 more that I haven't even gotten to. So I will most definitely have enough yarn, and I am excited to finish, like I said. But I think right now the way it's gonna go is this is gonna take priority, because I really need to go ahead and finish this for our friend and get that done, so that I can have it ready by her baby shower. And these socks are about done. Like, look at this. I just have to finish the cuff. So I will be showing you guys these again next episode. And I think those are all my progress. Yep, that's all the progress objects that I have right now. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, but definitely one will go on sleeping, which is the scarf. I am almost done with the socks. This one is not dire. If I do end up giving it to a friend, it will be for Christmas. So there's no rush in the future simple. And then, yeah, so just, I think I'm going to be alternating between the blanket and the top for my daughter. But yeah, and she actually seems a little excited about it. Like, I've shown it to her. She's like, oh yeah, that's nice. So that's pretty good for her. Because she's like, oh, Mom, I'm not even going to wear it, but I know she will, because she likes this kinds of stuff. So I'm really excited to see her in that. And then, yeah, I think that was it. I don't know. I honestly don't even know what else I said or what else I was gonna talk about. Oh, okay. I'm debating them also about whether I'm going to do this or not, because I started making these videos in August of last year. So since we are a whole year around and it is August once again, I have been debating whether I will be making videos every week this month, or not. Maybe I will try to keep the bi-weekly thing going. I'm not sure. You guys, what do you think? Let me know. And yeah, I also realized that I forgot to tell you that these, both the fidget and the vanilla socks, I used Deborah Norville's yarns, and I don't remember the names of the colorways at all, but I do like the striping. This one not so much. I realized this one's variegated, right? I realized that for socks, variegated is not for me. Oh, excuse me. I don't really like the splattery, and then how you get a little bit of pulling at times. So I need to be aware that I don't buy so much of that yarn. This I do like though, the stripes, and these as well, because they're more defined stripes. So I do like this. I don't know how I feel about like this kind of choppy half and half colors, but it does, you know, pop, which is awesome. So I will be finishing those, and I will be keeping an eye. I forgot to tell you guys, my son did open up my July sock bag. He hasn't done August yet. And I actually got this one, which is the same kind of yarn that I'm doing the socks with now. It's also the Forever, and this is color 72. So this will be striping up a lot like this one. So I need to think of a pattern that I would like to make with this one. And just now it popped into my head that maybe he won't, I won't get him to choose an August color, and then that way I can just cast on what John sent me. That would be nice. So yeah, and I'm excited to get on with that. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's been long enough. I hope I didn't miss anything. Like I said, I ended up having to go back to the I had to redo this part because I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but it totally threw my video off. And so I hope this isn't too, like, what's it called? Like, it doesn't mix in well. I hope I'm doing an okay job trying to keep the vibe going, because it had been a while since I had recorded the other one, so I don't even remember what I said or anything. I did want to mention, I don't even think I did in the video before, but in this one, I want to mention that I will be going to the Georgia Fiber Fest. If any of you watching will be down there, I believe I will be going on Saturday. It is a 3-day, I think it's a 3-day show. It's from September 7th through the 9th. So I will be there the 8th on Saturday. I know that the SSK Yarners will be going. I know Codi from CodiKnits will be going. And those are the two that I know. Karen from SSK Yarners was trying to get a list of people so that we could do a meetup. And she was texting me on Instagram. And I was telling her, like, I feel unworthy of the meetup only because I don't have the same amount of viewers, and not that, you know, my content isn't as good as theirs or anything. I just mean, like, I feel like I'm not as well known, so it's like who was gonna want to come and meet up with me. But then she was like, well, you're still putting in the work, you're doing all this stuff, so you definitely deserve it, and we would like to see you, and so let's do it. And I was talking to my friend and my husband, and I was like, I don't know, guys. And then my daughter was like, come on, Mom, just do it. So I'm doing it. I will be going. I can't wait. I am so excited to meet Karen and Sharon and see Codi again. And then to see who else I get to meet, that maybe, we can meet up once in a while and do some nitty stuff, because I think that's definitely why we do these videos. The people that do them is because we don't have the people around us who are as passionate about the fiber arts as some of us can be. I know my siblings, my sisters, do get a bit tired of me talking about yarn, and they were making fun of me because I try to well, maybe we could do something knitting related, or what if I teach you guys, or what if we, get your friends and then I can teach your friends, or just trying to spread the yarny love, and they don't understand that. And I'm not being ridiculously forceful about it, but I'm also you don't understand how the knitting can help you with things like depression, or for those of you who fidget and then got fidget spinners, fudge your fidget spinner, just go and knit. Because I feel like you get something out of it when you're just spinning, or something like that. What are you getting out of it besides your anxiety getting out of your system? I get that that's what it was developed for, but I also feel like if you are fidgety, I know I am fidgety even before the fidget spinner thing happened. I have always been very fidgety, and my leg just goes crazy if I have nothing else to do. So knitting and crocheting has definitely helped me with that. And then also I'm really glad that, people like John and Codi and Karen have reached out and talked to me, because there was a point in my life where it was very hard to get up and do things every day, and doing these videos actually helps with me getting out of bed and having a reason to do something, because you can only clean the house so many times. You can wash the bathrooms and you're done, and then what, So having this little thing that I'm doing, this channel, and again, I am grateful to you guys if you have subscribed and everything, because you keep me going. And so thank you so much, and know that if you do want to chat or whatever, you can totally find me on Instagram. That's where I'm most accessible. I try to reply to your comments here. If you have a comment, I will like it, or try to answer if you guys have a question or anything. But yeah, know that I'm here for you if you do need to talk. That's cool. Just send me a message, and I would gladly answer. I will say that, I am a mom, so if I don't answer, please don't think I'm ignoring you. It just means I'm doing mommy things sometimes. And my mommy hours, I have my mommy break, I should say, while the kids are at school. So usually from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till 1:30, because then I have to go and sit in carpool and stuff. But yeah, any time between there, if I'm not volunteering, I will gladly answer any text or messages or anything. So please feel free. And I will say it, I forgot to say it earlier. Please do give me a thumbs up and click the little thumbs up button down there. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if it was such a long episode, but if you stuck through it, thanks so much. And hasta la próxima.